to the Old-Fashioned Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, James Moran. With me, as always, co-host Gary Vitrone.
We're back, baby.
Producer, Brant, the Medicine Man Parker.
We got him here today. It's a good day.
It's a good day. What are we doing today, Gary? We're doing a mock draft.
We're doing a mock. I thought you were actually asking me.
Oh, yeah, that's it. What are we doing? So what are we doing today, Gary?
We're drafting! It's the snake draft today. 12-person, full PPR. It's our second snake draft, I believe, this month. We're here, baby.
But it's an active one, unlike the last one.
Right.
It's a computer-based. This is active, like you said, 12 PPR.
Yes, sir.
Real quick. All right, so it looks like we're in pick 7.
We're pick 7.
I love it because that's a little tough.
Pick 7 is a little bit tough.
There's questions.
We're losing those top 5 that I'm really excited about.
Yes.
Initially, so we'll see what it looks like.
Can't wait. Excited to see it. Excited to go through this with you.
Let's dive into some news. We've got
real quick.
This is like a quick one.
Oh yeah.
2 minutes, 15 seconds. What's the biggest piece of news?
So the biggest piece of news: Darrell Henderson got injured today. Hurt his thumb. They don't know how serious it is yet.
Right.
But you can check Twitter. I retweeted a great medical source for that. It could be up to 6-7 weeks, depending on how bad it's hurt.
Dang.
If that's the case, the next 2 guys up for the Rams are Xavier Jones out of SMU, undrafted free agent from a couple of years ago, and Jake Funk, who they got in the 7th round this year, who really only got drafted because he had a fast 40-yard dash at the combine.
Speed kills. I love it.
Speed. So, if you have to draft before we hear more on Darrell Henderson, love Xavier Jones after the 10th round. Basically, right after Gus Edwards, I'm interested in him.
Okay.
I'm interested in Jake Funk a little later than that because so far in preseason, it really has looked like Xavier Jones got the job.
Right.
Beyond that news, Carson Wentz back in practice.
Yes, he looks good. He's running
good.
again. We retweeted that today too.
Yep.
He looks fine. Looks like he's recovering. He's on the right path of recovery from the foot. Quentin Nelson as well.
All over this. If you've been listening to the podcast, we have been telling you don't drop Jonathan Taylor.
No.
That we were still very much in on this offense. Right. And it looks like we were right on that one.
We're right on that one.
Love to see it.
He might actually come up around pick 7. He might be there, which would be kind of an interesting.
Oh, Jonathan
spot
Taylor,
too.
absolutely. Yeah. So that'll definitely be someone we'll have to look out for.
His fantasy value, he is not a first-round pick if you don't get Quentin back. He's out first.
I agree. I absolutely agree. Quentin Nelson, one of the top 3 guards probably in the NFL. Just an absolute monster.
Beast.
If you want to look at what happens when the interior of an offensive line is bad, go look at how Zeke looked.
Yeah, look at the Cowboys last year.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that was rough.
Very, very ugly. So this draft's about to start.
15
We're about
seconds,
to hear,
baby.
unfortunately, Matthew Berry's voice.
Oh, that's right. It's like the greatest day of the year or something like that.
Yep.
I forget what he says, but it will blare through the speakers.
Right now, it only looks like 2 people are on auction or on auto, which is fine. Pick one. Auto is okay. That's still going to be CMC.
Yeah. You heard it from Matthew.
But can't wait. We're super pumped to be with you guys doing this last mock draft right before everyone gets into drafting season. It's finally here,
man.
These 2 weeks is Christmas.
It's Christmas.
Man, I'm so pumped. My girlfriend's going out of town because she knows to avoid me. She knows I'm useless for these 2 weeks because this is all I'm thinking about, all I care about. So she's headed out of town. It's fantastic.
See ya.
Yep.
Oh, that's too funny.
All right. So we got first off Christian McCaffrey.
Big shock, huh?
Yeah.
Super surprised.
Absolutely.
CMC, Dalvin Cook. Let's see.
So right now they've got this ranked with Saquon at 3. He's not 3 for us.
No,
I would say he's number 5 usually on our board.
He's 5, depending on what piece of news comes out.
Yes.
Alvin Kamara just went. And so far, no setbacks for Saquon.
No.
Still They usually are giving him a couple days off throughout the week, but he has been practicing, so I feel really good about that. That said, I'd probably draft him. Where would you draft him, actually?
I think I would draft him there at 5. I really do.
Okay.
So right before Ezekiel Elliott, I do think when healthy, Saquon has a little bit more upside. He has the offensive coordinator now that gave Zeke the touches in the world when he was head coach, Jason Garrett.
He will be fed, yeah.
And quite frankly, I still prefer Jason Garrett as an offensive coordinator to Kellen Moore, who's the current Cowboys offensive coordinator.
I agree 1,000%.
But that top 4 went off just without a hitch.
Kelsey.
CMC,
Kelsey number 5.
Kamara, Henry, and then Travis Kelsey number 5. That's high for me. I
That's
understand
too high
he's a
for
difference
me,
maker
too.
at tight end, but that's still way too high.
All right.
So now we have Ezekiel Elliott, Jonathan Taylor, Austin Eckler. I really think for us it's between Zeke and Jonathan Taylor here.
Exactly right. I personally kind of like the upside with Jonathan Taylor a little bit more. A little bit riskier than Zeke. Zeke is
absolutely
safe.
riskier.
The floor is kind of a 12.
I'll be honest with you.
Would you ever reach for Eckler here? We have 18 seconds, by the way. I'll let you make the first pick. But
I'm going Zeke.
You're going Zeke.
Yes.
Let's go get Zeke.
Let's go ahead and lock it in.
How early would you go for Eckler? Like how early is too early for your top shelf guy?
Honestly, I think he's right at the right spot, right there behind Zeke and Jonathan Taylor.
Taylor?
I have Kelsey behind all 3 of those
I did
guys.
too.
I have him actually Kelsey behind Devontae Adams. There, I like him around that 11th, 12th pick.
Sure.
So I right there, I want to take Ezekiel Elliott. The only reason that Jonathan Taylor, even though now we've got the healthy O-line back, I still don't like Nyheim Hines and Marlon Mack eating into that.
Sure.
I am not nearly that worried about Pollard taking away.
I was going to say
who they have paid to be there.
Like that's the thing. Zeke is so safe.
Yes.
Jonathan Taylor, there's a little bit more risk there. We've already seen like throughout the preseason, just a lot of injuries throughout his team. Zeke, we know the risk there is the offensive line, but even if the offensive line and Dak get banged up,
I was about to say
still
I
a top
am
12
nervous
guy.
about Dak. I am nervous about Dak, but
Yeah.
that's not really affecting where I
2
draft
MRIs
Ezekiel
and,
Elliott. Not playing in preseason. I
No
get it. He
preseason.
through 50 balls before the game, but he didn't throw anything long.
It wasn't live, and it
No.
wasn't. There was no pass rush or anything.
Correct. So that is still a bit of a scary injury to me. There's been enough people come out and say that's a scary injury for me to be paused. Troy Aikman came out and said it. Adam Schefter came out and said it. The Cowboys' old head of scouting, after he talked to Dak, came back and said he thought this could possibly hurt Dak season long. They didn't say he wouldn't play all season long. They just said it might keep him back from being 100%.
Like being 100, right?
And if that's the case, really the one that takes the hit for me is Amari Cooper.
Yeah, definitely. CD doesn't worry me at all.
No.
He's got a lot more of those kind of
Those short passes that we're seeing him
yeah.
perfectly fine doing. Again, I really understand. I think it makes sense. You know, this is a guy who's coming off such a terrible ankle injury. He's not using his lower body because of that.
He's not really
He's
driving
wearing
through
down
it.
his shoulder and his arm.
Right.
You want to know where it's easier to do that? Those short passes.
Oh, for
instead of
days.
trying to really wrench your arm throwing it far.
Yeah, no kidding.
So after us, Jonathan Taylor, Austin Eckler, Nick Chubb, Devontae Adams, then just now Aaron Jones.
What a steal!
Aaron Jones?
Aaron Jones, pick 12, baby. Wow, there's Najee. We were talking about this earlier today.
Yes.
I told
He
you
is
he's going
jumping.
by, this weekend and next weekend, he is a top of the second half pick.
He is.
And he is the first pick of round 2.
I won't lie. I kind of love that. Aaron Jones, Najee Harris.
That's a pretty nice combo.
That's a great combo to grab there at the end of the first. That's tough.
That's pretty tough to
I really do like Najee Harris. He is my favorite RB in the second round. Absolutely, for sure.
Because Eckler's going just inside, but he was a
Yes.
mid-second pick like a few weeks ago, wasn't he? Austin Eckler.
Wait, Austin Eckler?
Yeah, wasn't he a
No, he
early
was
second?
always 12.
He was?
He was always around the turn.
Right around the turn.
Yes.
Okay.
Him
There
and
goes
Aaron
Tyreek.
Jones have kind of gone back and forth a little bit.
Yeah.
There goes
Tyreek
into
Gibson,
Gibson.
pick 3 in the
Stephon
second
Diggs.
round. Diggs. And we're back.
We're back on here. So right now, top RBs are going to be Joe Mixon, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, David Montgomery. Of those guys, I know we're definitely backing away from Joe Mixon. That was never going to be the guy there. I really
I
think
would
our
never get
auto
Mixon.
pick here is the guy that we're going to end up going for. I know he's number 3 on your board, I believe, when it comes to wide receivers.
He is number 3 on mine. Calvin Ridley,
Calvin
baby.
Ridley.
All the upside in the world. Yeah, CEH. I like CEH, but the injury worries me a little bit, and he has such a great opportunity to really bounce back. I think he was still top 15 last year, wasn't he?
He
It's
was.
just you drafted him as a top 5 guy,
Right.
and when he doesn't return that value, people
It
are
hurts.
giving him a lot more crud than he
Absolutely.
really deserves.
And it's there's less competition in the backfield this year than there was last year.
Right.
So no Le'Veon Bell's back there, no LaShawn McCoy. Darrell Williams is gone now. So, I'm sorry, Damian Williams is gone now. He was off last year with COVID, but still, you know that it's Clyde Edwards-Hilaire's backfield.
It's his show, yeah.
I don't hate him at that pick where we grabbed. If we hadn't grabbed Zeke or Jonathan Taylor, if, for instance, for some reason we had gone Kelsey or Devontae, I absolutely would have been like, no, you go get CBH
we
right
need
there.
him at that point.
But Calvin Ridley, that's a great start to our draft. Zeke, Calvin.
Yeah, I like the upside.
Absolutely. Big fan. And both have great floors, too, honestly.
Oh, my God.
The floors for both of them are...
Calvin Ridley's going to get like a minimum of 150 targets. Like, he got the floors
volume,
there
the
and the
volume
upside.
for both of them.
All right, so more picks that went off after Calvin Ridley. Went DK Metcalf, Joe Mixon, CEH, Darren Waller.
Wow, that's a reach.
It's a little bit early for me. AJ Brown and Justin Jefferson.
And A.J. Brown, also a little banged up right now, the knee injury.
Concerning.
Definitely a little concerning. I really want to hear more about it. He's not someone who I'm usually grabbing because of where he goes off the board, but it does make me... I'm interested to hear because it would probably, more than anything else, change my opinion on Julio.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so that's what I'm intrigued to hear about with A.J. Brown. I don't want to give any more on it. It's a knee injury to a guy who just had off-season knee surgery.
Yes.
But I don't know enough to give any sort of diagnosis or a guess at one even.
I don't either yet. Just something to monitor. George Kittle.
Right.
Which is still too early for me. The injury, like in 4 seasons, you had season-ending injuries twice. That freaks me out. I don't want
Brandon Ayuk there now.
Such a bummer. David Montgomery went.
Yes.
Keenan.
All right, so now here we are about to get back on this, on the board.
Miles Sanders, okay, I'm happy with that. Let's see the top running backs.
I was about to say, I think our next choice is going to be J.K. Dobbins and Chris Carson.
I was going to say, I would pick Chris Carson between the two.
I would as well. I think putting Chris Carson there, and there are other high-end wide receivers that I know we like.
Oh, yeah.
But I really don't like getting out of the top 3 rounds.
Without 2 running backs.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is
without 2 running backs. You do see a drop-off here.
Dookie is thinking about it.
He is.
His name is Dookie.
He's thinking the same thing we are. He's trying to decide between those top wide receivers and running backs.
Yeah, exactly. Are you good with Carson here?
I am good with Carson there, yes.
Get him. Get our dude. I feel good about that. I don't care about Rashad Penny. He's going to have it's one of the few first-round running backs that have busted so far. He's just been plagued with injuries.
Well, he's not the only one in the history of the NFL, but recently he's certainly one of the worst, yes.
Yeah, it just hasn't panned out so far. No. The injuries, the talent's kind of always been there. Even, and I don't think he's going to play a full 17 games, but I have a 30% rushing share built into that, 70% for Carson.
Happy with that all day.
Yeah, and Seattle's a run-first team.
Exactly.
That feels really good as the RB2.
I agree. I think we've really given ourselves a safe RB core, which I like a lot for us coming out of the first 3 rounds with one of the top wide receivers, a guy who's definitely going to be fighting for that top wide receiver spot.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. That's why I feel so good about it. Like, we're super safe at running back. Not to say there's not upside there, but that's guaranteed.
Yes.
And then Ridley Ridley could easily finish as wide receiver 1.
Absolutely.
So I feel good.
So
Scary Terry, Allen Robinson, CeeDee Lamb. Also a lot of talent here too. I'm really happy with getting Ridley there though because
there is a tier difference there.
There's a couple tier difference there, and
between
then
who you get now, yes.
Right, and there's just a drop off at running back there in the second round with what was left. There just wasn't compared to Ridley, there was a massive gap.
Absolutely.
So I feel good about. So far, this is looking good.
Yes,
Happy with it.
I agree. The guys there who would have been interesting, Najee obviously, Antonio Gibson.
Yes.
Those were the 2 guys. Clyde Edwards-Hilaire was the later guy now going, who I still like a lot as a running back in the second. But Calvin Ridley
he's a difference maker.
He is. He's a difference maker there.
He's
top of that second tier for me.
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh God.
Look, every single year.
Is this the same guy who did Waller? Round 3, pick 11, and Waller was pick 10 round 2, so a different team. Different team.
Dude.
People do strange things. You know, we can't control live to make sure that everyone goes off of a normal ADP. But okay, you know, someone's high on Aaron Rodgers. There's going to be a lot of people in home leagues who are high on him after the MVP season last year. If you're listening to our podcast, you should know better. Don't you dare. But him going off the board before Mahomes or any of the others is shocking.
Yeah, that is.
This is,
I don't get it.
I would say, a pretty intelligent draft beyond
so far it looks good.
the Waller and Rodgers picks, because Mahomes still is on the board, is why I'm saying that specifically. We're here at the start of round 4, and Mahomes is there.
Mike Evans picked 1 in the 4th. James Robinson.
There goes Patrick Mahomes there.
Yeah, that makes a lot.
And I would think the end of round 4 is where I'm absolutely starting to look at Patrick Mahomes, personally.
All right, here's some of the top running backs left. We've got 30 seconds. Jacobs, Henderson, Chase Edmonds, ETN.
Go ahead and show flex, because I think there was a lot of guys.
There's a lot of wideouts in
that and Javonte.
Yeah.
Well, see, here's the thing.
53.
We're in the middle. So that's the interesting part about being pick 7. You kind of want to stretch, go get your guy.
Yep.
Because you're not getting a short term. You're never going to be I can wait.
We're not at pick 7.
So I'm going Javonte here. I'm going to go down and grab my guy.
We're good at flex.
Yes.
Boom.
Yeah. I don't know. What did you think about that?
I'm fine with that because I don't know if he'll come back to us. There's so many wide receivers here that, I mean, a few of them are bound to fall. I mean, I'm looking at Claypool too, which would be a reach for us technically there, but I don't mind that. The talent's there. We'll see what plays out.
So let's talk about the guys that were available. Chris Godwin, we have issues there because we really like Antonio Brown late.
We do.
Tyler Lockett, that he is so boomer bust. That's a worry for me.
Yeah,
and I also think again more of a rushing offense. Plus, we already have Chris Carson. I really don't need another Seattle.
I was gonna say if we didn't have Chris Carson, if we had, why say that? I don't mind taking a player like Tyler Lockett there because I feel so good about our running back safety, like the guaranteed, like rushes that we will be getting, and Ridley is just so safe with upside. I don't mind taking on a little bit of risk there. Godwin's a little bit too safe at this point, and like you said, AB, we can totally get him later. After Javonte went Darrell Henderson, Josh Allen, and Cooper Kupp.
So the next guy that I would be grabbing if I was the next pick would be Julio Jones. We talked a bit of the issues and worry around AJ. So I would go him. DJ Moore I'm not very high up because I really am nervous about that Robbie Anderson connection with Sam Darnold.
I would like to get Ayuk, but I doubt he's there. Unless people keep jumping for quarterback. Sometimes there's a run on a certain position.
Absolutely.
And look, you saw Rodgers go in as the first quarterback at the end of the 3rd round. Crazy stuff happens. Sometimes guys get overlooked or somebody really goes to get who they see as their guy and will just jump.
I'm happy to see because I'm sure it's because people have been drafting him more as we're getting closer to real drafts. But Brandon Cooks is certainly higher here on this board than I thought he would be.
Yeah.
But I'm happy about it because I think I still think of him as a value there, but certainly not the go grab value that we had when he was, dropping to the 7th, 8th round.
I know that was really nice to have there. Mm-hmm. Of course, it's too good to be true, so it's gone now.
So then our big guys late.
He's valued correctly,
right? The guys that are late that we really like, Antonio Brown, Russell Gage, have not moved up.
Yeah, Gage, that is, we talked about this earlier today. Mm-hmm. That is still the most amazing thing to me. I have no clue how, because for a fact the targets are going to be there.
I'm just moving this to flex. And we're not really looking at quarterback here.
No.
It'd be different if Mahomes had fallen to us at this point.
I was going to say, I would grab Mahomes here if, obviously, he was here.
It would have been hard for me to go Javonte Williams over Patrick Mahomes. I might have gone Patrick Mahomes there if he had gotten to us in the middle of the 4th. Like I said, the middle of the 4th to the late 4th would be where I'm certainly starting to consider him.
Right.
And because I liked our 2 RBs and our wide receiver, that's why I would go, I'll go for that a little bit out of the box thinking and go grab him.
I mean, at that point, he's a value. I agree. Your guy, Myles Gaskins, just went... Say that sarcastically.
So Myles Gaskins, to be fair, hey, let's go ahead and talk about it. Myles Gaskins started before Malcolm Brown.
He
played
did.
a decent portion of the game there for the Dolphins this last preseason game, and I don't care because of where Malcolm Brown's going off the board, because I do think it's going to be some sort of committee.
Sure.
And I still think that Malcolm Brown has a very good shot of winning that job. And
Good.
I'm going to take the guy at that super low ADP.
Yes.
They're not close enough to where I'm worried about the statistics when it comes to those RBs that are really close together. You do want usually that top RB. There's enough difference there. I'm not worried about it.
I'm not either.
So I'm not touching Myles Gaskin with a 10-foot pole.
I'm not touching him either. We're on the clock in 2 picks.
Julio Jones. Julio Jones
I was
just
hoping
went.
you
I
would
was
fall.
really hoping so
That's
too.
who I really, really wanted. Are you thinking tight end at all at this point? What's on your mind?
So I am thinking tight end. Looking back, I'm a little. Kareem Hunt looks very nice there, but let's go ahead. I do actually look at this, and I'm looking at Kyle Pitts. Scroll down a little bit, or can we switch over to the wide receiver to kind of see who is still there that we're comfortable with as our wide receiver 2 that we think will get back to us?
Robbie's there. Claypool.
I think
Claypool could get back to us.
I'm not sure if Claypool will, but Brandon Cooks I think has a good chance of it.
Will.
Scrolling down a little bit more, if we get Michael Thomas there, that'd be interesting. Mike Williams.
Having to
is
start
going
Michael Thomas is a little too much for me.
I understand that.
Okay, Edmonds, ETN, Hunt, Kenny G, Jamar Chase, your favorite.
So because we have 3 RBs, are you not really looking at Kareem Hunt right now? It's okay. If
Not a
you're
ton. No. With that said, though, I don't really love the wide receivers
I
here.
really don't either.
It's a matter of will Chase get back to us.
That's the question there. I'd go ahead and grab Kyle Pitts.
Okay.
I want the upside at this
You
spot.
want Pitts. Where's Kyle?
Right there.
Boom. Drafted.
I am picking him over the other guys because I want that upside with our team. Our team is pretty safe so far.
Yeah, I don't mind Pitts, even though we've got Ridley. I think that all the targets in the world are going to be there. That's a team that I see as a top 5 offense.
Yes.
The defense is going to be atrocious. So I feel good about having a potential top 5 tight end here as well. After Kyle Pitts goes Chase Edmonds, Travis Etienne. I would love for, let's see, Robbie's there. Claypool is who I'm staring at. That's who I really want.
I know.
That would be great. I think Deontay went like an entire round ago. That is way too big of a gap.
I agree.
That does not make any sense to me. I want to find him on here.
No, he's right here. He was the first pick in the 5th.
First and the 5th. Okay.
So we're right now here at about to be the end of the 5th.
End of 5. Yeah.
So he's unless he's picked in the next 2 picks. TJ Hawkinson just went. So it looks like yes, he's going at least around.
And hopefully he falls to us. Dude, that's kind of crazy to me. Like,
if he falls to us, I'm really excited for how our team looks so far.
I would be thrilled. Claypool as our wide receiver 2 would be really nice.
It would be. And again, if we have to go audible for that, Brandon Cooks, I'm happy as can be. And while I agree, I don't really like Michael Thomas. What that would mean is that later in this draft, I'm really hitting those wide receivers.
Right.
I'm really looking at Antonio Brown, and I'm looking at those kind of guys that I think could be values late.
Sure. No, that makes sense. So,
Mike Williams.
At this point, too, because one of our favorite late round picks, Russell Gage.
No. I know.
Could you imagine?
I talked about him earlier.
I have all of Atlanta.
Yes.
And I would avoid Matt Ryan like the plague. But with that said, I'm comfortable waiting for a quarterback if we did happen to get Matt Ryan.
Who do you think we're going to draft right here? I'm not sure who you're
No, I mean at the very end. Like as that stack.
Yes, I'd be okay with Matt Ryan. I'm not grabbing Russell
I think
Gage.
this is the easiest pick.
So let's talk about it. Chase Claypool versus Robbie Anderson's 2 above him. I agree.
To me, it's like Claypool has a much better chance to me of being like a top 12 guy.
Yes.
Like the touchdowns, I think he had 9 last year. I think he's just going to pull further away. I don't think Juju's going to have as good of a year. The targets are absolutely going to be there for Deontay Johnson. That does not worry me at all. your deep threat is Claypool.
So he went a round and a half below Deontay Johnson.
That's dumb.
This is why I'm absolutely more of a Chase Claypool fan.
Yeah, I was going to say for the opportunity cost, it's a no-brainer.
Right.
Like, this is awesome. This is the best wide receiver 2 I could have hoped for.
Yes.
And our wide receivers it's all the upside in the world.
It is.
And that's exactly what you want when you've got so much safety in those starting running backs.
Absolutely. I could not be happier with our starting lineup.
Dude,
right now.
that's pretty sexy.
Yes.
Not gonna lie.
Yes. Zeke, Chris Carson, Calvin Ridley, Claypool,
Dude.
Pitts, Javonte Williams at flex.
Yes.
So excited about it.
After that went Lamar, and then went Robbie. So
there went Dak Prescott too.
Yeah.
I'm interested. Okay, here went Lamar and Russell. That was what I was wondering about. We were getting to the point where I was looking at those guys that I do have as a tier higher quarterback. I know that's weird to hear on a podcast,
QBs.
but just because we're at round, we're here at the 6th round. Never mind.
Yeah,
if they come around another round, I'm sorry. I would want those other positions filled out first.
Still a ton of talent here. You know,
No, now I'm waiting.
This is,
that's a tier break there.
That's a few.
That's a tier break. After Russell Wilson and Dak Prescott are off the board, I'm not looking at that anymore.
And our lineup looks really good at this point. We're very balanced.
Yes.
So we can field is open. We can get whatever position we want. Obviously, between wide receiver and running back, we're not getting another tight end.
No.
Other running backs that we're interested in. There's Trey.
There's Trey Sermon. I'd be fine queuing him up.
There's Carter.
Michael Carter, who's going a little lower. I'm not surprised that Tevin Coleman's getting the starting work.
Sure.
Johnson's getting involved in the last preseason game too, also before Michael Carter. Michael Carter, I look at him a lot like how people had to deal with Cam Akers last year, which was you grab him in the draft. If you can make it through and you don't need that bench spot, just let him chill there. Let him chill.
Yes.
The second half of the season, he has really great upside. He's a lottery pick guy. So I do have other RBs that I want on our team before we look at Michael Carter. Malcolm Brown, Trey Sermon. Let's see, some other running backs that stick out to me. I'm not a huge fan of Damian Harris just because James White still really caps that upside.
I'm coming on a little stronger to Damian Harris. He's never going to be it would be really, really tough for him to crack the top 12, but
it would be.
I think the touchdown upside could actually be there. The receptions will absolutely, I do.
For
Damian.
For Damian?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Well,
I think he's the clear starting workhorse. The only concern is the reception work will never be there.
No.
So it would be real hard to get into the top 12, but I think you could get steady production.
I think you could get steady production. He becomes much more valuable to me if we see them leaning towards Mac Jones versus Cam Newton.
Yeah, I can see that too.
You get rid of that mobile quarterback. That's one of the first times one of the only times I think I'm going to say that where I prefer a non-mobile quarterback because I am worried about Cam going ahead and stealing that red zone.
He's going to vulture the work.
Exactly. He's going to vulture those touchdowns there in the red zone.
Yeah.
Guess they had their eye on him too.
Michael Carter. There went Michael Carter,
That's
which
fine.
we can live with.
I'm grabbing right now. I am looking at this board.
Just want to check out running backs and see. Yeah, Trey Sermon is still pretty far back there.
He is.
Rojo, Jamal Williams, James Conner, AJ Dillon, Buffalo running backs. I ranted about the Buffalo running backs for a while.
You have.
Josh Allen's the best, and it's not close.
Leonard Fournette's right there.
All right, back to flex.
Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks is interesting there. Debo's there.
Debo is there. I'm not a huge fan of Debo
Mike
because
Williams,
I am
AB.
nervous about them switching. Antonio Brown's really low there. I don't
care for Jamar.
No, I don't care about for Jamar. I'm looking at this and really seeing Brandon Cooks stand out or going to go grab Trey Sermon.
I think we can wait on Sermon, and as soon as I say that, he's going to be gone.
I'm scared about it. But Brandon Cooks here.
Brandon Cooks is a pretty much guaranteed top 24 wide receiver.
Yes.
He is every single year.
Yes.
He's going to have 150 targets.
I
don't see how he doesn't.
No.
That team is going to be losing like they might win like a game.
And I'm perfectly happy to take that garbage time.
I'm not better than
Brandon
that.
Cooks work all day long.
Man.
That's all that it's going to be. Tyrod Taylor doing these little dump offs to Brandon Cooks, hoping that he can make something in the space.
That's the thing. He will.
While all the defense stays back in a line in front of the goal line.
Brandon Cooks runs like a 4.35. Like he's going to rip something off. He's not going to have double-digit touchdowns, but it doesn't matter. He's going to have 100 receptions and he's going to have 1,200 yards or something crazy.
So right now, I feel like this is the draft we wanted from the 7th pick.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think there's really anything different we would have hoped for.
No.
We played the draft that came to us. You know, you know me. I'm hardly ever want to go wide receiver
in that
second. I know I made you sweat there waiting for that wide receiver too, sitting there going, Claypool, come on, come back to us. But that worked out really well for us.
That's exactly what I wanted.
It is, and if we had missed out, I think we've done a decent job. There goes Trey Sermon.
So that was a calculated risk.
That was. And I'm okay with that because of how strong our top 3 RBs are. I'm happy getting that Brandon Cooks, that really locked in wide receiver 2 that we can put in flex
that feels
in
good.
a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't lose any sleep over that.
Exactly.
Trey Sermon, so he was pick 80, what was that? 85.
85.
His ADP is 111.
I mean, you're going to see this right now as we're coming into real draft season. You're going to see a lot of these guys move up.
It's the right thing to do.
It is.
All right, we're on the clock. Debo, Chark, I don't think anyone has interest in him. Curtis Samuel, Jarvis, Marquise, Mike Williams, AB. Let's see running backs real quick. We have 30 seconds. Fournette, Kenyon Drake, Jamal Williams, Rojo.
I don't hate Fournette at this point.
I was thinking about that.
I'll be honest
that
with
backfield
you.
is hard to value. Yeah.
Would you prefer that, or would you go Antonio Brown, really kind of lock down our wide receivers? That gives us 4 really solid wide receivers.
That does. There's still a couple guys. Let's get AB because
Let's go ahead.
that is a top shelf guy for me.
Yes.
I promise I clicked. Why can I not select him?
We ended up with Michael Gallup. Wait, what? No, Malcolm Brown.
I actually worked out because I queued him up.
It did.
So our computer just glitched, but that's okay. Sometimes shit happens in drafts.
Yes.
We
So
had a
go ahead and
technology
cue Antonio
malfunction.
Brown up
Yeah.
right now.
Let's go ahead and do that.
And move him to
And
the top.
we are, yes, you are moving down. We are going to go ahead and queue everybody up.
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams is interesting.
We're not really that high up. Michael Pittman.
Pittman. Ah, shoot.
Not Devontae. There goes Mike Williams. That's okay. We
I can live
expected
with that. I feel better about Pittman knowing that Quentin's back and so is Carson.
Yes.
They're on pace to be back. I feel good.
Yes. Jacoby Myers. What's your thoughts on him?
Jacoby. I'm excited for Jacoby. I love him as a lottery pick.
Yeah.
Like, he is the clear guy in New England.
He is.
Like, he is showing out in every preseason game.
He has looked the part. The volume's going to be there. I agree. Darnell Mooney.
But Russell Gage. This is the other thing. I'm so used.
There goes Antonio Brown. I'm sorry,
Oh!
Gary.
I felt heartbreak for the first time just now. Man, that stinks. But hey, I mean, it's a competitive draft. I like that.
It is.
Let's look at all flex. Jarvis, I wish I liked you more.
Go ahead and cue Leonard Fournette because if he gets up
Ooh,
here,
if he fell to us, I'd be really happy with that.
I would be too. There goes AJ Dillon.
It's kind of nice.
And again, this is one of the fun. Leonard Fournette was not fun to have in the regular season.
No, he wasn't.
He really came off during the playoffs, but most people are like, that was touchdown based. That's hardest to show.
Right.
You still have Ronald Jones.
Yeah.
You've got all these passing guys there. It's hard to value the. It's a murky backfield.
Yes, it is.
But because of that, he was really falling too far. And you
Yeah,
know me, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of some ugly situations.
Yeah, I was gonna say we don't always need that sexy name.
No. And that's why Brandon Cooks is falling way too far also, because the Texans are ugly.
Right, and now you don't want to build a team around value. That's not what we're saying at all. We have the upside here for sure, without a doubt. But when I can get Fournette after pick 100, I'm
You've got to.
let me get it.
You've got to.
That's all I've ever wanted.
Gonna go ahead and get the starting running back for Tom Brady.
Man, playoff Lenny. Hopefully that carries through in 2022.
He did fall to us.
He did.
That's a real easy pick for me. It'd be different if Antonio Brown was still here, but I'm perfectly happy grabbing Leonard Fournette.
Yes, I mean you still know that's going to be a top 5 offense. That you look at our team and it's like all you see is points.
It is,
and touchdowns and yards. That's it.
That's definitely key.
Other than Brandon Cooks, which we already know, we're not banking on touchdowns. We don't need to. He's never been I don't think he's ever had double-digit touchdowns. I think the most he ever had was 9 a few years back. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Did he not get 10 with the Saints?
He might have gotten.
It might have been not. It was either 9 or 10 was the top. I agree. I think
in like 6 or 7 years, he's gotten like 9 or 10 once.
So I'm looking at quarterback here. Ryan Tannehill went off the board. Tom Brady went off the board. We're starting to see a few of those guys. I'm still happy as can be. We're not touching Matt Ryan. Well, we could.
I actually don't. I don't mind that. I don't mind the stack because
super cheap.
Yeah, I was gonna say at this point. I mean, we still have 4 bench spots.
We have 5 wide receivers.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say nobody here. You're right. You can count. Good job.
Thank you.
I can too. I promise. At this point, none of these quarterbacks are really jumping out at me.
I do like Tua late because
the mobility is
going to be there, and I trust him to be a bit more of an accurate thrower than Jalen Hurts. So
yeah, I don't trust Hurts' accuracy.
No. I mean, if I'm looking at, guys that I'm liking late, that's one of the guys who sticks out for me. I'm currently not sitting here hoping that Trey Lance. I'm seeing people take Justin Fields and Trey Lance now, and that's just crazy to me.
I don't need Trey Lance at all. I do think he's going to start quicker than you think. Do we want to go ahead and grab Tua?
No.
We want to wait?
Yes.
All right. We have 30 seconds. Let's see if there's any running backs.
I don't think there is.
Nah,
I think
not at this point.
No.
I think we're pretty good on running backs too.
Yeah, I mean, really beyond Xavier Jones, I don't really know.
So Pittman and Myers are jumping out at me.
I agree. What are you trying
I'm
to say?
kind of leaning towards Jacoby. Who do you want? I'll let you make this pick.
Let's go ahead with Jacoby. I actually like that. I think that no matter which quarterback's there, he's going to get plenty of work.
I think so too.
Michael Pittman, while I really like him, I am worried about his consistency. I think he's going to have a lot of games where he might vanish on you.
Oh yeah, he definitely will.
Because they just don't need him because they go run.
Right, and you've got enough mouths to feed there too. I mean, if Mac healthy again. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's going to be a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Just a lot.
Marlon Mack. Yep.
Yeah, I mean that O-line is so good. You're a run first team.
Naeem Hines is going to get the pass work out of the backfield.
Yeah, totally.
While I think Carson Wentz has got a good upside, and I like Michael Pittman, especially if he comes back to us, I think right now I'm happy picking Myers there, especially with
like
that being our 4th wide receiver. So I really want someone that I feel comfortable putting in a flex spot.
I love that.
Someone that I'm just fine having on my bench that I throw in there when it's necessary.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not worried about his situation. Michael Pittman, I haven't seen it as much from.
No,
we're really hoping he takes that next step with T.Y. Hilton, really taking.
Yeah, and a quarterback change, of course.
Right.
Injuries there. I mean, it just might be a little bit slower of a start. You might also be able to trade for him cheap because I think it's going to be a slow start for pass catchers in Indy.
Carson Wentz coming off an injury.
Learning the playbook and just might take a little bit to get going. A couple tight ends went, actually 3 tight ends went in the last 4 picks with Matthew Stafford mixed in there.
I like Jonnu Smith. Getting him this late, I think that's probably a smart move by that team. If they waited that late at tight end, I think that's a great
That's a really good
grab.
pick. Yeah, Hunter Henry's still hurt, not getting any of the reps with either quarterback right now.
Jonnu Smith is back, healthy now. He missed a little bit there, but he's back.
He did, yeah.
Mike Oseki. My problem with him is there's a lot of mouths to feed there in Miami now.
Miami is so interesting. Like, there's a lot of guys that kind of make it exciting. You got Waddle in there. Devontae, when he's healthy, is a rock star. You saw him without Adam Gase, and all of a sudden he's a new dude.
Will Fuller when he gets back from suspension.
Clean, hopefully. Right? I mean, there's a lot of talent there. Like, Miami's an exciting team.
Absolutely.
There is a whole lot of...
And that defense is
The
dirty.
defense is good, man.
Woo!
So we're picking Miami's defense, right?
No, but I do think if he gets back to us, I am looking at Tua.
Tua?
Here. Yes.
Would you go Tua over Pittman?
I would with who we have.
Yeah, we've got so much. At
If
this
we
point,
didn't have
too,
four
there's a...
wide receivers, I'd be more in a nervous spot. But because we have our two solid locked in, never leaving our starting lineup.
Yeah.
And then we have Brandon Cooks, who's our first. Jacoby Myers. I'm looking for... I don't think Pittman has the upside.
No, I don't either. Denver defense, first one to go.
Congratulations to that team.
I always like to point it out for you.
Pick
Brant, you
12,
hear that?
Team Smith.
Denver's D, our producer, shaking his head with a grin on his face.
He's just surprised it wasn't a kicker. He doesn't understand why a kicker didn't go before.
Can you even leave a draft without two kickers? Like, can you do that? There went Pittman. That's all right. I do see a teardrop here for quarterback too. I hope we do get Tua. If not, I don't mind
then I
Matt
do look at
Ryan.
the stack. Then I'm looking at the stack.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It's
I don't
Matt
mind
Ryan.
that. The offensive coordinator change, like the yards are just gonna be there. Like I can see some early struggles just with interceptions, but again, you're throwing it so much. Do we want to go ahead and get Tua?
Let's go ahead and lock it in.
That was a quick pick, nice and easy. 3 more bench spots, plus defense and kicker.
Look into your leagues. If you can leave a draft without a defense and kicker,
That's a
do
good
it.
point.
Do it, absolutely.
I think
depending
ESPN
on-
makes you, right? You have to fill in the whole
ESPN
lineup.
does.
Sleeper, I think you can leave without it. Is that
It
true?
depends
On
on
your
the way the commissioner sets up the draft.
Yeah.
That is like an actual button you have to click.
Okay. That's cool you have the option, though. I remember doing my first IDP league was actually in Yahoo.
Yes.
Which I really don't like, but I will
Yahoo's
say
awful.
it did not make you fill out every starter.
Which is
So I hoarded depth.
there you
It was
go.
awesome. I never once played all 4 IDPs. Yeah, 4.
4?
Swear to God, IDPs. Yeah, it was 2 flex.
No wonder it was on Yahoo. This league
Yeah.
sounds awful.
It was 2 flex and then 4 IDP and a defense. So it was interesting. I'm looking at Mooney here.
Don't ever do a league like that.
JD McKissick is kind of interesting at this point in the draft.
JD McKissick.
Russell
Gus
Gage is
Edwards.
picked
Gus
151.
Edwards is too low. Gus Edwards is going too low now. I'm saying it. He's going to have a split there with
He's going to siphon off some of the
with
touchdowns for
Dobbins.
sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Gus Edwards is too there. It's too easy to see him having a path to RB value,
Some value there.
with how low he's going. You know, I just think there's more of a chance of something happening to J.K. Dobbins or him just getting the red zone work
Yeah.
than I think there is of J.D. McKissick actually trying to get that job from Antonio Gibson or
Yeah.
James White getting that job from Damian Harris. So I would, if
Gus-
I'm looking,
Gus Edwards could
Yes.
be like he probably won't get much work between the 20s, but then when you get right past there into the red zone, he could be
Exactly.
a pain in the butt.
exactly.
And yeah, give me a touchdown. Like
Give me the touchdowns.
5 rushing yards and a touchdown. That's great. I don't need 57 rushing yards.
No.
Matt Ryan went. Elijah Moore.
But that's not who I'm
Interesting.
grabbing right now. I am
No, I'm not either.
grabbing Xavier Jones.
Tyrell Williams went. We have Xavier Jones queued up.
Yes.
We have Mooney queued up, who actually had a really good rookie season too. I think he had like 90 some odd targets, which is pretty surprising.
He did very well. Do you want to grab him and wait on Xavier Jones?
No, let's go ahead and get Xavier Jones. I'd rather get him just because that backfield in LA is interesting.
Yes.
And there's still enough wide receivers that I'm interested in, even without Russell Gage.
Good.
Which I'm with you. That's insane at that point.
Guess they had their eye on him too.
There goes Darnell Mooney, the
And
pick
there goes
before
Mooney.
us. I'm so sad to see
Either.
that happen to you, Gary.
I know. I'm with you. That is heartbreaking for the second time tonight. I'm actually thrilled with that because that's a guy that was off our draft board.
Yes.
I can't have that much. Like, that's overkill.
I'm gonna say it right now. I love our RB depth. You're picking
got
guys who I like, but I don't really need them. We also got Malcolm Brown, so we have 6 RBs at this point. I'd rather go with some wide receiver lottery tickets. Personally.
Yeah, I like that too. Why did I think Russell Gage went?
Russell Gage hasn't gone. It's just that we already have Pitts and Ridley.
Oh, it was Mooney. My bad. That's
Mooney.
right. Yeah,
Just went. Yes.
which I do think the upside is there. He kind of had the same, on a smaller scale, the same issue that Terry had. He just needs a quarterback to get the ball in his vicinity, and that didn't happen last year. You had terrible quarterback play. That's the other thing. Like, Chicago, no matter what, is getting an upgraded quarterback.
Yes.
So Allen Robinson, like we talked about 2 episodes ago, you're playing with, outside of Blake Bortles at Wembley, the best quarterback you've ever played with, regardless of who starts.
No question.
Which is kind of insane.
I agree, absolutely. And what's funny, what they're saying about that is they're saying that you need to see Andy Dalton in live game. Their first game is against the Rams, which is a pretty tough one, especially with how poor their offensive line. This might be let's sacrifice Andy Dalton to Aaron Donald before
Could you
we play
imagine
Justin
making
Fields.
your NFL debut and it's like,
Hi,
that's
here's
what
Aaron
you run
Donald.
into? Yeah. Like,
That's
what is
tough.
he? 3-time Defensive Player of the Year? 2
Yeah.
or 3-time? Like, your career's over.
Guess they had their
There
eye
goes
on him, too.
McKissick. Baker
Perfectly
went
fine.
round 13, pick 2. That is today's Eli.
Yes.
That's how I see him. I just, there's a lot of hatred there. We're coming up in a few picks. Let's see. We have 6 running backs, 4 wide receiver.
Let's go ahead and
Let's look at
do
those
wide
wideouts.
receivers. Yes, that's what I wanted to see.
Let's see. I queued up Amon St. Brown.
Almon, I like Almon. Rondale Moore, I don't hate there. He's going to get that slot work for Arizona. Larry Fitzgerald has come out and said
I
he's
don't
just not
hate
feeling it.
Terrence Marshall,
Terrence
just because your wide receiver core is already injured and you've proved you can ball.
Sure.
I
would
agree, no interest.
prefer.
Want to get
I want to get
St.
Amon-Ra St. Brown
Yeah.
because of how comfortable I am with our starting lineup. If something had gone wrong and I felt like I need the depth right here,
Oh yeah.
this is lottery ticket time. So give me the biggest
Get
lottery
some
ticket.
upside, yeah.
That's the guy who has the easiest path to wide receiver 1. So the wide receiver 1 for his team,
Right.
not
Yeah. and, of
wide
course.
receiver 1 in general.
Yeah, you're not getting the wide receiver 1 with the what round?
Third guy.
14th, 13th round that we just picked in, and that's fair.
No.
Let's see. So 5 running backs or 5 wide receivers, 6 running backs.
Yep.
Open anything. Looking.
But
at
we
wide
only have 1
receivers.
tight end. Are we okay with that, Gary?
No, the next 2 picks have to go. No. Yeah, we can live with that. We're
Absolutely
never
fine.
leaving a draft with more than 1.
No. So this is our last bench spot.
It is.
We have no players queued up. Is there? I don't really have a preference.
No, I don't care for Brian Edwards. Randall Cobb's not interesting to me.
If anything, honestly, if you want to go back to RB, Tevin Coleman is still there, and he's going to be.
Coleman?
He's the very top guy, so I don't know if he'll make it back to us.
Oh, nice.
But he's someone I'd be interested in at this point in the draft. We could go ahead and get, because we have Zeke, Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
I'm not usually a fan of grabbing the backup, but there is when you have the only 2 guys that I really feel comfortable about doing it for are CMC, because you know it's going to be Chuba Hubbard, and Zeke,
And he's
because you know it's going to be Tony Pollard. So
That's fair.
that would be the only thing I'd say there. Beyond Tevin Coleman, running backs that interest me, I'm not interested in Rashad Penny.
I was going to say I don't care for Penny this year. Well, I think he's going to have a better season, but I still
Yes.
think he's going to be by far the second fiddle. I mean, Marlon Mack, I don't care about.
All these other guys really have people in front of them before they're fantasy valuable.
Right.
Beyond Tevin Coleman. Tevin Coleman's the guy who I know definitely is going to probably have that starting job week 1.
Yes.
Even though I obviously prefer Michael Carter, is going much farther ahead of him because of that.
Yeah, seriously.
So Tevin Coleman I really like here. And like I said, I'd feel fine going Tony Pollard because of how I love the rest of our draft.
That's true.
Then is there any RB?
No, there's really not. I mean,
I'd go ahead. What are you thinking?
I'm kind of thinking Pollard.
Pollard? Okay.
Yeah, just to kind of solidify it. I don't even see him on here.
Go ahead and just search his name. Oh, Kenny Gainwell was there. Go with Gainwell.
Oh, Gainwell, sweet.
I would much rather have Gainwell's upside.
Boop. Drafted.
Yes. Kenneth Gainwell, we've talked about him before. He's the pass-catching freak that was taken in the draft by the Eagles. He's gotten some usage, while Miles Sanders might be the number one there. He's going to have definitely some catching upside, and I'm absolutely worried about the injury risk with Miles Sanders a bit as well. So Kenneth Gainwell, I really like the upside in that late rookie pick.
Yeah.
Who's going to have at least the floor of the pass-catching work.
Exactly.
Because he's getting on the field.
Yeah, he is. He looked good in preseason so far. He is a very talented pass catcher.
They've used him a bit at wide receiver.
That's
really
nice to see. I like the Phillies at least being creative.
They are.
Point. Like, that's nice to see. Like, some teams make the forward pass look creative. Like, that's literally all you have, and it just scares me.
Hello, Cowboys.
I like them lining up Gainwell at wide receiver. That's really nice to see. Brant, this one's for you, buddy. We're looking at kicker and defense. What are you thinking?
The best kicker.
The best kicker.
The best one.
Probably.
What about another?
Kansas City's.
What about another Atlanta?
Already taken.
What about Atlanta? Young Hoku. No more. We already have all that offense.
We have too much
So
Atlanta.
Justin Tucker is kind of the best available as of now. I mean,
Are you
Baltimore's
picking
gonna score
kicker
a lot.
or over defense usually? Do you?
Yeah,
care?
I think it's easier to stream defenses.
Okay.
Personally, kickers are just hard. If they're, I say that.
See, I would usually go the other way, quite frankly.
I feel like it's harder to grab a kicker
Okay.
later. Personally, like you always find an advantageous matchup for a defense.
That's true.
It feels like.
That's true.
Kicker, I like to not even try to stream it because it's so hard to predict. With that said,
Jason Sanders.
I would get the Browns defense.
Ooh. The defense. Let's go Cleveland.
Yeah.
Guess they had their eye on him too.
Who?
Tevin Coleman just.
Oh, I was gonna say we're not allowed to pick him at that point.
No.
All right, kicker's the only one left. Let's do a quick run through of our team. At quarterback, we've got Tua. Running back is Ezekiel Elliott and Chris Carson. All the upside in the world at wide receiver with Calvin Ridley and Chase Claypool. I love that. Tight end,
Pitts.
Kyle Pitts, baby.
Man.
Flex, Javonte Williams. Let's go down to our bench because
Brandon
Cleveland is
Cooks.
irrelevant. Brandon Cooks. Yep.
Malcolm Brown, Leonard Fournette, Jacoby Myers,
Love it.
Xavier Jones, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Kenneth Gainwell. I love the locked-in nature of Ridley, Claypool, Cooks. We would have taken, instead of Malcolm Brown there, Antonio Brown, and really locked down that last pick. That would have been who we would recommend. But if not that, Jacoby Myers gives us a great floor. Amon-Ra St. Brown, the upside there, beyond the upside that we have in our starters, quite frankly.
Oh, yeah.
So, RBs late, the guys we grabbed. Leonard Fournette could just take over that backfield. Malcolm Brown could just take over that backfield. Xavier Jones could just take over that backfield. Kenneth Gainwell will have the pass catching work, which is the most important part of that backfield.
It is.
Love that beyond our very much workhorse guys in Zeke, Carson. Javonte Williams will have that job, if not week 1, week 2.
I love that.
Let's go ahead. I personally would go Matt Gay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, LA is going to score often. That's a wrap.
That's
a team,
a wrap.
Man. That looks really good. The more I'm looking at this, I love Leonard Fournette there.
I do enjoy grabbing Leonard Fournette there. That was a great grab.
That's awesome.
Late to get a guy who really has just a monster ceiling.
Top 5 offense. You're going to be scoring a lot. You saw what he did in the playoffs. I'm not expecting that.
No.
But you're Tom Brady's going to be a rock star again for sure. But with that said, you're going to just have so many scoring opportunities. Your pie is massive. He will fall in the end zone often. I'm happy with that.
And he is the red zone
spot.
guy.
Mm-hmm.
He is the red zone guy. He is a big man.
All
All
right,
right,
he's scary.
real quick, let's look at the other teams, see if any of them stand out as good ones to us.
Take a peek.
I'm a little nervous about Mike Davis's too. Love Christian McCaffrey and Tannehill there.
Lockett.
Justin Jefferson. Lockett's a little nerve-wracking.
Bust.
Kittle, not a huge fan.
Yeah, I don't mind Mostert to start the season, but Long term, I don't know about that. I don't like Lindsey.
I'm not a
don't
fan
like
of
your
his.
bench.
I'm really not a fan of your bench.
No,
And to be fair, that could be because he auto-drafted the end of the bench. I'm not really sure.
that's it.
Dalvin Cook, Swift, like it. AJ
AJ
Brown,
Chris Godwin.
Tanyan.
Sure.
Gaskin is not great, but
I
I
don't
like
wanna
the rest of
have
that
to-
offense, starting lineup just fine.
Right. I don't want to have to rely on Gaskin.
Harris,
don't know what
like
that looks like
Corey
yet.
Davis, like. Not a fan of Hardman. Gage, I am.
Corey Davis is getting like an insane target share right now. Did you see that? He's
Yes.
the only player with north of 50%
Oh,
targets
he
on his routes or something
Was
crazy.
eating. I am.
Like that makes it
liking
worth a bench
him.
spot.
Yes.
Just know that that's not close to sustainable to everybody
Fair.
listening. Like
True.
it's nice to see that okay, you clearly have a spot in the offense. You are my first look,
Right.
and my second look.
We'll see if Elijah Moore can try to make that a little bit more of an even
Yeah,
split.
and he will.
Yes.
He absolutely will. It might take a month or two.
Gomes, Kamara, Montgomery, Ayuk, Judy, Waller, Jacobs. This was the guy who grabbed Waller way too early. I
did,
like the
and
rest
his-
of his lineup,
yeah,
but
his
if he
team
had
turned out.
taken a better wide receiver one there,
Yeah.
I would love his team a whole heck of a lot more.
I'm not trusting Jerry Judy, even though I'm also low on the rest of Denver pass catchers.
That was really the only problem with this draft. I'm not a fan of Josh Jacobs either, but that's the thing that sticks out to me is that if you had not done the strange pick with Waller so early, I really think
It-
I would
it
have
would've
liked
looked
your
a lot
wide
better.
receiver one, and that would have
Especially
trickled
because
down.
you went out and got Oseki anyway, which is just weird.
Mm-hmm.
But he got Pittman and Brown, so maybe he knows what he's doing a little.
Like this lineup a lot.
Yeah, Julio was your flex. That's pretty cool.
I really like this lineup. I don't like what he did with
Yeah.
RB late, and I do want more RB depth than he's got.
Right. I mean, you
That's
got
the big
Darrington
thing.
Evans as a backup to Henry. I
You do.
get the thought there.
You also have Darrell Williams to back up CEH, but it's so infrequent that the backup is actually the guy.
Yeah.
Darrington Evans. I like Darrington Evans as a player. He is not Derrick Henry.
Of course not. Nobody's
there's-
Derrick Henry.
That team's going to drastically change how they play.
Yeah. Oh,
if
yeah.
Derrick Henry is gone.
Hill's
So-
throwing it like 12 times more a game at that point. Like
Right.
you're changing your offense completely.
So that's not the same kind of workload.
No.
And same with Darrell Williams. He is not Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He is not the pass catcher.
And I know Andy Reid likes to go with one running back, but you're not just going to get the full
No.
workload at that point. You don't have that skill set.
No.
Like-
And you've also got Jerick McKinnon there, who I honestly think
Right.
would take
There's your
that
upside
second spot.
with the
As long as
receptions.
Jerick McKinnon's been healthy, he's been very good.
He's been awesome. Yeah. Didn't the 49ers pay him a few years back? Like
He
everyone
did.
thought he was going to be a thing, and then of course health issues.
Health issues really hurt that season.
I hate your running back.
Yeah.
I
That's
hate
all
him to both. Like that was the first word out of our mouths.
Yes.
I hate your running backs. Joe Mixon, hard no. Sanders, harder no.
T. Higgins, wide receiver, hard.
I
no.
just don't like that team.
No, that team looks bad. The only thing you had there that I like was Kelsey and Josh
Kelsey.
Allen, and that's not the two positions I want to like your team.
Focus on
Saquon, Darrell Henderson. Again, Henderson I'm not a huge fan of right now because of the injury. Metcalf, Amari, that's a...
You got big name wide receivers that aren't going to return
No.
100% value there.
Yeah, who is this? Jamal Williams?
Jamal Williams, no.
No, your running backs scare me a lot.
Gus Edwards is a good second to last bench spot.
Injured.
But yeah, Amari.
Jamal. Yeah, no, thank you.
That was Team Dookie.
That was Team Dookie, and he took a Dookie. Jonathan Taylor, Chase
Well said.
Edmonds, Hopkins, McLaurin, Goddard, Thielen, Prescott, Ravens. Like this team.
That's a good one.
Not a fan of Jamar Chase. Not a fan of Michael Gallup.
It's a solid second or third place draft.
Connor, nope.
Mooney.
Paris
Campbell,
Then
no, I
Tevin
don't
Coleman
care
there
for
at the
you.
very end.
Your starters are good.
Your stars are good.
Gotta get
Chase
started on.
Edmonds has the upside there. I would have more RB depth, quite frankly, than this guy has.
It's not
Behind Jonathan Taylor and Chase Edmonds, your next guy is James Conner. So you've got the Arizona running back core down.
Yes, exactly.
That
Which-
hasn't been.
If there's one thing I learned about Arizona's running back core, it's I don't like it.
No.
I don't like Cliff. Cliff was the issue
Cliff
with it.
lies.
Cliff like a rug.
Yes, he does. Austin Eckler, J.K. Dobbins like it. Diggs, Robinson like it. Mark Andrews like it. Travis Etienne, not a huge fan.
Too early. That was your 5th pick.
Zach Moss, Singletary.
You loaded up on the whole backfield except for the one that you need.
Yes,
Josh Allen.
2 tight ends, definitely not. 2 QBs, definitely not.
Ty.
So let's try to take this a little faster.
I read that as Furby.
Wide receiver core, I like Lamb. I'm not a huge fan of Sutton late. Those guys, sure.
Yeah, your running backs look good.
Like the running backs a lot.
I don't trust Sutton yet. You can see Fuller, even in practice, he pulls up on his leg. He's not confident.
Don't
yet.
grab both Fuller and Waddle.
I hate that.
Don't grab Ruggs. Duke Johnson.
I'm fine with the lottery pick on Ruggs, but
your wide receivers, I am very scared for you. Beyond CeeDee Lamb, I am not a fan of
CeeDee Lamb could easily be top 12, but you've got a lot of question marks at wide receiver there.
Oh, God. That's all I need to see.
Team
James
Hilaire.
Robinson is your first RB.
Yeah.
That's
Melvin Gordon is your... Oh, my goodness. Next.
Nope.
Skip it.
Aaron Jones, Najee. This was the 12th guy.
This is the interesting one. This might be a 4th team.
I like everything I'm seeing. Kenny Galladay's a little interesting to me, but fine.
Flex, I mean.
Not a big fan of Devonta Smith, but Trey Sermon
you reached for Sermon, which was probably the right thing to do.
Devontae Parker.
I love your running backs. Your wide receivers are good.
That's the thing. I would want a little more of that high-end upside, really, because I trust his running back so much. Woods doesn't have it.
Although I don't mind that because you have upside.
You do have Kenny Galladay.
And you've got Kenny Galladay. Yeah, I mean,
I like that team. I like that team.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like your starters a lot. The depth is halfway there.
Yes.
Just didn't finish as strong as you should have.
It didn't, and I'll be honest, I still like our team the most.
I do too. I love the fact that
really
we get those guaranteed touches.
Yes.
And they're still in our starting lineup all the upside in the world, and then on our bench, it's dripping with upside.
Yes.
I love that.
All right. Great.
Cool.
Great podcast. Great draft. See you guys this Friday. Have a great week. I hope your drafts go well.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Make smart choices.
Follow us on Twitter. We will tweet out any injury news, any recommendations based on the injury news. If it's a big deal, I promise we'll tweet about it at OLFF Podcast. Good night.
Night.